Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to our live Q&A with Annie Gunning, our certified child life specialist. She is here today to talk about an amazing upcoming new initiative we have for our children with HIE, and it's called SOAR. And it's something that we are starting really soon. So we want to make sure that we tell you guys all about it, give you a chance to sign up and register. So that's what we're here for today. Hi, Annie. How you doing?
Hey, good. It's good to be here again. Thank you so much for having me on again to talk about something new and exciting that I think we're all really looking forward to.
Yes. We'll get into it, but we listen to feedback from our community all the time, and we really try to find like gaps in support and try to offer as many support resources as we can. So now that we have someone like you, we can really start building out these new programs. Like that's how Super Sibs happened. We wanted to support our kids, our siblings to those with HIE who are alive and or who have passed. But our kids with HIE need support too, and connection and bonding as they grow into their lives with HIE. So that's what we're going to talk about today. It's called SOAR. We're going to walk through all the details of it, the goals of it, and most importantly, how to get involved and how to register. So I guess we'll just get started.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay,
let's dive in.
Let's do it. So the first thing we're going to do is talk about kind of like the origin story of this. Tell us more about the program, but more specifically, how did this idea for SOAR come about? And what is it and what inspired its creation?
Yeah, so SOAR is for our kids in our community who have HIE. And it really came about from listening to our community and listening to our parents. And we did have a parent listening session too, as we were thinking about this idea, just to kind of see what they wanted for their kids and what their kids were telling them. So it really came about because we were hearing from our families that kids with HIE were feeling alone and isolated. They were feeling like there weren't other kids around who were like them or had the same type of medical appointments and different medical complexities that they did. And that just led to even more feelings of isolation. So we wanted them to know that there is the community, there are people around them who support them that they can talk to, they can share their experiences with, and then make those connections with. So that's kind of where it came from. So we decided to develop a program, and we'll kind of get into more of that.
Yes. And I know originally on our notes, Annie, the next question is going to be like, talk about the key components of it. But I think it's probably smarter to talk about what SOAR stands for first. Is that good with you? Let's go over yeah. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
You've learned to be flexible.
Yeah, no, when I was going through, I was like, oh, I said this earlier, but yeah, no, we can jump around however, it's fine.
I love it. So what does it stand for? Yeah,
so it means support, ownership, advocacy, and resilience. So those are like the core focus of our group. So we wanted, something that would really encompass the goals of what we were trying to achieve with these kids. And we threw around a couple different names, and Betsy is so great at, coming up with these ideas. And so this was actually her wonderful name, but fully encompasses, and I love it. So support, because we want all the kids to know that they are supported and all of the feelings they have every day, whatever those are, and that they have somewhere that they can talk to, somewhere they can go, and people they can talk to about all those feelings. And they're not the only ones feeling like that. And we're always here to talk and listen. And then ownership was just talking about and taking responsibility for ourselves and the things we can control. So we'll have conversations about that and do activities of what are the things we can control. Let's take ownership of those things. And advocacy, speaking up for ourselves. So we talk about it's important regarding their health and their medical choices. They do have choices. They do have things that they can speak up for themselves, things they can do to advocate for themselves. And we want to make sure that they're treated fairly, and then the other people around them are treated fairly. So let's help them with those skills. And resilience, because I just think kids are so resilient, and we need to talk about, they're so resilient. We need to talk about and highlight how they can bounce back from things. Things are challenging. Things are really hard, but look, you are going to bounce back from this, and you're going to bounce back stronger and better and in a different way. And just talking about that bravery and that courage and how they can be more resilient.
I love it. So now that we kind of understand the acronym of SOAR, let's get into its key components of the program.
Mhm.
How is this program designed to support our children with HIE?
So this will obviously be a virtual support program because our community is international. So this is open to kids internationally. It is Eastern Standard Time. So that's just kind of how it is. But we tried to make it at a time where we think it will be good with schools and what families have going on. And, you know, we hope we can get as many kids to join as possible. And then we will have the groups divided up into two different groups. So we have a 7 to 12 group and then a 13 to 17 group. And the plan is that it is a 10-week long program that is 5 sessions. So it will meet every other week on a Sunday. And I think we're going to go over more like specific times. I think
Yeah.
I don't want to say the wrong time. I know the
It's
approximate time. It's like 5 to
um,
5:30 and then like 6 to 6:45 or something like that.
I just wrote a blog about it.
And we
I
might
think
not
I
even
just
like have that specific. We might need to make a little adjustment after we get all of our
we might.
interests, things. But it's every other Sunday,
Yes,
10
as
weeks
of
until
right now, it's 6 to 6:30 for the 7 to
okay.
12 age group, and then it's 6:45 to 7:30 Eastern Standard Time for the 13 to 17 age group.
Okay.
But
Yeah, I'm like, I don't want to say the wrong time. I'm like, I know it's the evening time for both of them, but the 7 to
yeah.
12 group is 30 minutes, and then the 13 to
Mhm.
17 group is 45 minutes. And we'll have weekly topics for discussion, activities, games. I really hope to just facilitate this time for connection and interactions. And then, we want to incorporate what their interests are, making this accessible for everybody, because everybody does in this group does have, based on the interest forms we've gotten previously from the parent listening session, everybody has very different abilities. So we want to try and incorporate
Yeah.
everybody's abilities to make these fun, but helpful and supportive. And so I've been working on some virtual playrooms and virtual hospitals and sensory rooms and things like that.
Perfect. Let's go a little bit more into the program structure, and we can delve a little deeper into like the content and like the weekly topics and such. You kind of briefly mentioned, but what types of activities or sessions can our participants expect to engage in throughout the 5 sessions over the course of 10 weeks that they'll be with you?
Yeah. So I have, a general agenda that I,
Mhm.
hope to follow. And again, I just want to share, like, this is a new program that we're starting. And so there's bound to be a lot of flexibility. Some
Mhm.
changes may happen, and that's all okay. I might have a topic one week, but I also have plan B, C, and D in my back pocket because we know that changes. So if we have a certain topic, so like week 1 is just let's connect, getting to know each other. So that's just let's all figure out what this is like when we're on a Zoom. And I know kids are kind of used to this from, some of them might be from past experiences with school and things like that. So Zoom is not, anything out of the ordinary for families these days anymore. But
Mhm.
let's just get used to each other and kind of learn what everybody likes and what their interests are. So the first session is really about connecting. And then after that, we are going to delve a little bit more into shared experiences and what do we have in common and what brings us together. And that might bring up some topics that kids want to discuss, maybe some shared experiences with friendships and peer interactions, or maybe it's hospitalizations or medical
Mhm.
experiences. And that's kind of what I really am hoping for, that they can make those connections. And that's when like those connections are those things happen, those stories. Well, then we might get a little bit off track and it might go in a different direction for that session. And that's okay. Like that's
Mhm.
cool. It's for them. So I want to make sure I'm supporting them and what they need. And then week 3, we have learned together. So let's talk about HIE and how does it affect us, and what are some common frustrations we have, and then what helps us. So getting a little bit more into those, like what are the feelings we have about it, and then how do we cope with it? Are those things we can do that can help us during these times? And then maybe just some some release of emotion and expressive kind of activities as well. And then
Yeah.
looking more for the fourth week, looking more into common and shared experiences and having our safe space to ask questions, express emotions, share stories, whatever medical tests, hospitalizations. What does it feel like when you have to go through all that stuff? And what are some commonalities we have? And then again, how do we cope with all that medical stuff that's happening? And how do we, connect and stay in a good relationship with all of our family and our friends when we're going through all of this stuff too. So
Yeah.
really just touching on all those different topics that are important to them that are affected. And then the
Yeah.
fifth week is like, this has been great. We have formed positive relationships and friendships, and I want you all to leave here with whatever connections you've made. So if you met one other kid, and now from here, from our group, you can leave and be connected with this other kid. Maybe you're pen pals, or maybe you email each other, or your parents can connect with each other. So that is really a big goal, I think, that we've all talked about for SOAR is the connection after. Like, I want to bring you all together, and then afterwards, you still have this group of kids that you met and you connected with, and where do you go from there with them?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we just spent an hour talking about this before our live Q&A, is how to, as the creator and facilitator of this program, how are you going to approach meeting just the diverse needs of all of our children with HIE who want to join and participate, and to try to make it as accessible and as inclusive as possible?
Yes, we have
Tough question.
and I love it. And I've spent a ton of time talking with you, and I were talking about it. Me and you are going to talk about it more, because Deanna in her past life was an educator and worked with kids of varying needs. So I think she's going to be very helpful as I kind of put all this together as well. But, I've talked with other friends who are occupational therapists and have done a lot of different activities. And so I'm really trying to, again, go back to that interest form, which we also have everybody's interest in things that they enjoy doing. Do they enjoy building? Do they enjoy gaming? Is it pretend play and imaginative play? Is it I'm trying to think like Lego stuff was on their sci-fi movies, like whatever their interests are. And I want to bring those things in, as well as all the different abilities that they have. So we might need to get an interpreter. We might need to get have closed captioning on there for some kids, and someone that is also doing sign language to help. A parent might have to join to help, but maybe they'll be off screen, because I really want it to be kid focused. And I want kids to know that they can share things with their friends and with me without having a parent nearby that might say something. I feel like they're more open with, I'm not in the family relationship, and sometimes that's easier to talk about things that might be hard, which is a normal thing that kids do. So just trying to put together all these different experiences and do it virtually. And I've been getting a lot of fun ideas, and I'm excited about it. I might also bring in an outside group to help facilitate a few activities, because I want it to be fun too. I want this to be really interactive and fun and exciting. So you want to come back every week, but we can do that at the same time we're having some, tougher conversations as well.
Right.
So,
and learning about yourself and all that comes with it.
And then we'll take into account like the feedback. Like I want to go into this as like, this is the first time we're doing this. So there might be some hiccups along the way. There typically are with things. So mid group, I would love to do some questions with the parents and the kids, get some feedback. And then again, at the end of the session, same thing. Love to get some feedback from the families to see what worked, what didn't, what are some new ideas and things like that.
Absolutely. Yeah. Feedback is really important. And like you said, that's going to be integrated in kind of the system of the program here. So that way, if we want to make changes, it's not happening after the 5 sessions are already completed. We'll learn along the way.
Yeah.
My next question is, I know we briefly discussed it, but just in terms of like short-term versus long-term impact we hope to have on our children who participate in this program, what would you define those short and long-term impacts as? What's the kind of your goal or your desire for that?
Yeah. Short-term goals are definitely more of like what's happening in the moment with you, what things are going on in your life right now that we need to talk about, and let's have some fun with it too. So
Yeah.
let's talk about all the things, let's connect with each other, and let's have fun. Let's meet other kids that are like you and just have fun with it. So that's definitely a short-term goal. Finding a community and getting to know each other and having fun. Long term, I would love, like I said, develop those friendships and connections beyond these 5 sessions for sure. Like, I think we've heard that so many times with families. They just, a kid wants to have that connection with a peer and might be hard at school. And those are issues we can talk about too, but maybe he met somebody and they can connect via gaming, or they can FaceTime with each other, or through their family members, they can communicate. So that's really one of the long-term goals. And the other one is I hope that they're able to take something that they can learn about advocating for themselves and what their needs are in school, at the doctor's office, just being out in the community.
And something that you and I are going to do together too is once we have kind of those official registration numbers, and we're going to get into how to register in just like one, that's our next thing we're going to talk about. Hopefully grouping local people together so that way they're on the same team. And so taking into account kind of like just the geographical like logistics of all these people, so that way it would be easier to kind of plan some of those interactions after we're done. So now on to important registration information. What's the first step? Because I know you and I know it's a multi-step process right now, but what's like the first thing that parents or children with HIE need to do in order to kind of learn more and officially register?
So I think go to our website.
Yes. I'll talk about it.
Yeah. I'm like, well, you probably even know, but I know if I go to the website and I click on, support, and I go there.
So like, I guess I'll be the one to talk about it. I'm just so used to asking you the questions. As soon as I asked, I was like, this is more for Deanna. I'll tell you how to do it. So there's multiple ways. So the first way is to do exactly what you just said, is to go to HIE.support and to scroll down until you see the SOAR initiative, and it will hyperlink the interest form. The interest form is really, it's multiple things. I'll get into it in a second. The second way is to follow the tiny URL on the screen right now, tinyurl.com, learn about SOAR. This is the blog that we published. It has all the details, all the wonderful bullet points that you just outlined in this video. It kind of, even in more detail, along with the link to that interest form. Maybe now you can talk about what's on that interest form and what that means.
Yeah, we have, so again, it's going to be 2 different age groups. So we ask just, the basic information of name, age. I think we have any secondary diagnosis on there, their interests, where they live, so just address and location, basic parent contact information. And then I think we also have sensory needs or any kind of additional needs. So some, families did write things like an interpreter might be needed, or how they communicate. I think I had that one on there too. I need to know what's the best way for your child to communicate. So, you just go on, fill that. And then we have all that. And it just helps me with my planning, so I can make sure I can include everyone into all of our activities.
Yes. So this interest form is really kind of an area for children or parents, whoever's signing up, to kind of go in depth about like who they are, like what they need, what fun learning looks like for them, et cetera, et cetera. Now, with that said, just because you sign the interest form doesn't mean that you're officially registered, because like we said, there are going to be 2 kind of sessions. There's going to be one in fall of 2024. It's going to start September 29th. Again, it goes 10 weeks, but it alternates each week, every Sunday. And I believe it ends on November 24th.
Yes.
The Sunday before Thanksgiving. And then that's the fall cohort or session. The winter 2025 session starts January 12th. Yes, looking through my notes. And then that ends March 9th. And it's the same cadence. It's 10 weeks, but you meet every other week.
Mhm.
All of those details, all of those dates, along with the theme for each of those sessions, will be outlined on a welcome packet, along with information how to officially register for one of those, either fall or winter session. So in order to receive that welcome kit with the registration information, you have to sign up via the interest form that we just spoke about. And that's
Mhm.
what's going to be hyperlinked on HIE.support. That's what's hyperlinked and embedded on the blog at tinyurl.com learn about SOAR. So if you haven't filled out that form, and then do so, and you must do so by or before July 15th, which is a good, 2.5 weeks from now.
Mhm. Mhm.
Because on July 15th, we're going to take all of those submissions. And we're going to mail you that welcome packet with registration information. So that way, which one to sign up for, whether it's fall or winter, and you just kind of get like a more detailed outline and registration links for everything.
Yeah.
Now, when you receive that welcome packet, which we're targeting early August, like the first week of August, we're ideally you get that.
Mhm.
Then you have until August 30th to register for one of those sessions. Now, Annie, we talked about like max capacity for this. We
Mhm.
don't want it to be where
Yeah.
it's like more than 10 kids, truly.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we wanted to keep it a small
Mhm.
cohort to make it manageable and
Mhm.
to foster bonding and connection, right?
Yes, correct.
Um,
Yeah, we did. And I think initially we had 10, so it might be like 8 to 10, but 10 is
yeah,
definitely the max
yeah.
that I think to make, to make
It
it a
really just depends on those
effective.
official registration numbers,
Yeah.
truly. Yeah. So at the end of the day, though, once you are registered and it's kind of first come, first serve type of
Mhm.
situation, we'll cut the registration off at a certain amount. We'll reach out to you and we will say to confirm your official registration. And then we'll begin that regular cadence of communication with you moving
Mhm.
forward, and you'll get all of the directions on how to join and where to join and what to bring and what to do and all those things.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, that first step really is just filling out that interest form. And if you're, we sent this out a while ago. So if you're concerned and you're like, I think I signed up on the interest form, but I don't remember, just sign up again.
Yeah.
We'll delete the first or second, no big deal. You'd rather
Yeah.
be, safe than sorry. So again, sign that, go to hie.support and or tinyurl.com, learn about SOAR, to sign that interest form by or before July 15th,
Mhm.
because at that point, that's kind of our official cutoff in order
Mhm.
to have enough time to get that welcome packet mailed to you.
Mhm.
So that way you
Mhm.
have a good 3 or 4 weeks to figure out what works for you and what works for
Yeah.
your child, and which cohort or which fall or winter session to sign up for.
Yes, right. Because
I think
we
I
do
said
want to make
everything.
sure that we want to give you that time to sign up,
Yeah.
because we want to make sure that you can commit to it, because I really want, once you sign up, I want the kids to be committed to those
Yeah.
5 sessions, because otherwise it changes the dynamics of the group and what we're doing. So we just ask that once you sign up, and you're taking a place too, so we want to make sure that
Hmm.
everybody who wants to be in the group can be in the group. And that welcome kit, you'll get like just a general agenda, but then once we have everybody that's going to be in the groups, those 10 kids and those 10 kids, then you get weekly updates on, this is the topic
Hmm.
for, this is specifically what we're doing this week. Maybe these are some things you need to have ready beforehand, or here is a link you're going to need to have to click on to participate. So
Hmm.
what you get in the welcome kit is just kind of a general overview, and then you get more
Yeah.
specific stuff once you're in the program.
Yeah. The welcome kit is really basically welcome, thank you for your interest, now
Yeah.
register.
Yeah.
And then that way we have your information and we know who to reach out to, et cetera, et cetera.
Yes. Yes.
Lovely.
And then
Um,
I think and again, I just want to emphasize, because this is new and I want to make sure everybody's getting the most out of this. After that fall session, we do want to get that feedback. So
mhm.
if there are some tweaks that we have to make for, the winter session, I don't want anybody to be like blown away or shocked by it, because a new program usually requires some tweaks of some kind. So,
Yeah.
that's a possibility. So I just don't want anybody to be surprised.
Yeah. No, I mean, absolutely. Feedback, I mean, like we said, I mean, that's kind of what happens when you're doing something live and with kids, plans change.
Yeah.
But for the better, because everything that we do is really to make it more inclusive and more accommodating to the people who are actually there. So,
Yeah. For sure.
we're excited to get this started. I think this is going to be a wonderful, just another wonderful resource and support we have for our community members, specifically our children. You know,
Mhm.
we
Absolutely.
a lot of times we focus on the caregivers, um, but I love that we're kind of transitioning and highlighting the kids as you know, Betsy said, as they grow into their lives with HIE. I think that's wonderful.
Yeah.
So if you have
I'm
any
excited.
questions, you can reach out to Annie. Annie G at hopeforhie.org.
Mhm. Mhm.
But you can find our contact information on HIE.support. You can also email me, Deanna, at hopeforhie.org as well. I'm the program manager. Most likely, I'll just forward your email to Annie. But you can reach out to one of us and you will get a response. If you have any questions or concerns, that's what we're here for. And again, we're so grateful for your hard work, Annie, and just building out these resources for our kids. And we can't wait for as many people as possible, as many interested people as possible to sign up via that interest form. Like I said, by or before July 15th, using the link on my screen right now or going to HIE.support. It'll bring you to the same place. And if you missed anything or you joined at the tail end of this live Q&A, tinyurl.com/learn about SOAR is the blog I drafted and published last night that has all of the answers of everything we discussed on this live Q&A. And just in a short few hours, this will be posted again on YouTube, and we can have republish the link to our Instagram and Facebook channels too for you to rewatch at your leisure. So thank you again. And like we said, reach out to us with any questions. In the meantime, we can't wait to start this SOAR program. I think it's going to be really impactful for our kids.
Yeah, me too. Thank you so much. I appreciate all your help. So thank you.
Oh gosh. Yeah, no, I would love to take credit, but I honestly can't. Trust me, I would if I could, but I can't, especially in front of live people. I can't. But thanks.
Yes, you can. Bye.
Bye,
Thanks.
everyone.